And we're live. Hey, welcome back to another Unbridled Living in Costa Rica podcast. Hey, I think summer is finally here.
I don't know.
Well, hey, today we're going to be talking about Walmart. You know, there's people here, and I understand when there's a lot of people that kind of disagree or say you shouldn't be shopping at Walmart. You should only be shopping with the locals. Well, is that true? And, you know, in the United States, hey, I can agree because I owned a grocery store. I had a convenience store. And so when a Walmart comes in, well, it can shut down a lot of businesses and it can be bad for a lot of locally owned stores. But is that true about Walmart coming into Costa Rica? Well, we're going to be talking about that and talking about whether you should or, well, should not be going into Walmart. Hey, how are things at Walmart in Costa Rica different from the Walmart in your country? You know, is it the same? What about Black Fridays? All kind of things. So today we're going to kind of give you the scoop on Walmart in Costa Rica. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? But before we get started, hey, this is your first time here. I'm Alan, my wonderful co-host,
Rebecca.
And together we have been in Costa Rica since November 2013. Traveled all over the place, okay? On purpose most of the time. And, you know, we've lived in 25 different houses, locations, but, just for the purpose of finding out a perfect slice of paradise. What everyone should do, should kind of move around, and because, you know, Costa Rica is not for everybody. And heck, I hope that's why you're here, so that you can find out the whole truth about living in Costa Rica, because there's a lot of channels out there trying to sell you Costa Rica. And hey, we have no ulterior motive and no agenda. We made the mistakes. We lost a lot of money, and well, we really don't want you to make the same mistakes we made. So hey, we'd like to give you the good, the bad, and the ugly about living in Costa Rica. Yes. So what's been happening on the off-grid homestead?
Let me see if I can recall this week. Nothing.
Ah! Well, see, she said nothing. That's because she's always at that computer working. But this week, I don't have a video this time. I really wish I did, but really wasn't much to make a video of. We spent a lot of time. All the stuff that was in the barn, we moved in, but had just the basic stuff. But man, we had to do a lot of cleaning to get stuff over the barn to here, so that, you know, stuff inside the house be nice and clean. So we spent a lot of time cleaning, and a
little elf came and put up some lights and bows.
Oh, we got a few lights and bows on the place. Maybe next week we'll get to show them some of that. But hey, I've been kind of decorating for Christmas and getting ready for all that stuff. So we actually been just having a good time moving in. You know, we moved in on Thanksgiving, of course, but what you don't know about Rebecca, she'll bring something in the house. She'll like, oh, this is a great spot for it. And then she'll move it. And then she'll move it at least 100 times. No, I'm exaggerating. 1,000 times before she finally finds the right place.
I'm a professional nester.
Indeed, she's a professional nester. So, hey, get out your Code Allen's apple juice. It looks like it's time for a refill. And get ready. Get your popcorn. We're going to have a good time just talking about the good, bad, and the ugly. And as always, hey, we'll take questions and answer all your questions so that you can get answers to your questions today.
And I'm up for a challenge. You know how hard it is to find a spot for everything.
She's up for a challenge. I don't know if I want to hear that.
8 foot wide space.
But wait, we have more room in here than we did in the barn.
Yeah, but in the barn, I didn't care where anything was because it was a barn.
That's right.
And I knew it was temporary, or yeah. I hoped.
So, hey, just so you guys know, I want to thank everybody that's here. Hey, as always, man, there's Eduardo, Randy, and lots of new people. Hey, seeing Shannon again. Welcome. I think Shannon is coming real soon. And anyway, I'm glad to see all of you here. Make sure that you put lots of comments. Make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to leave lots of comments after the video. You know, if you happen to be watching a replay, and even if you're here live, put comments afterwards. That kind of tells the algorithm that, hey, you like the content and you think it's worthwhile for people to see this stuff, and the algorithm will push it out. So, folks, let's get into Walmart. Okay. Now, I know. So the first question, Rebecca, what do you think about Walmart? I mean, do you wish that, I mean, you know, in the United States, people are like, that's bad business. Walmart's bad business. It shuts down all these little businesses. You should be shopping locally. I mean, you've been here 11 years and you've done a lot of shopping. What do you feel about Walmart being in a place where you can go shopping?
I was thrilled. I was absolutely thrilled when I heard a Walmart was coming.
So tell me why you were thrilled that Walmart was coming to town.
Well, in the U.S., it's the situation that you said, you know, a lot of little mom and pop places got shut down. That happened to where we lived in Avoyelles Parish in Louisiana. Walmart came into 2 areas, shut everybody down, and then moved. And left the little community with nothing but a Dollar General. So that aspect is different from in the U.S. Here, when we first got here, I did not see a Walmart or any kind of super center, any place that I could get a lot of things in a selection, except in San Jose and the metropolitan area. And probably in Liberia or something like that. But we hadn't gone there. We went south. So I was not used to, now my mom was used to going to a little store. You had to go to the pharmacy, you had to go to the bread market, you know, and stuff like that. But I wasn't used to that. And so if there was sufficient parking, it wouldn't be so bad. But I found it really difficult to find parking.
In Costa Rica, you're talking about?
Yeah, in Costa Rica. Yeah, let me say that. Yeah, 11 years ago, 2013, 11 years ago when we came here. I found it difficult to go to all these different little places. At first, we only had the motorbike.
Right.
So parking wasn't that bad, but we had to make a lot of different stops. And you know, if you don't have anything else to do, and that's your whole day.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean, if you're retired and you got nothing better to do,
you're
right?
a homemaker, you know, male or female, you're a homemaker, and that's your thing to go get the groceries. That's your job, and you know, cook them up. But when you already working and you got to make time to go to all these different places, plus we didn't know what was sold where. One time we were shopping, we found a generator in the clothes.
In the clothes section.
Yeah, we had been looking for a generator and couldn't find one. And then I was looking in the clothes rack and I was like, look at there, a generator. So, but and different things like that. Dimly lit stores, no aisles. I mean, the aisles
really
are so
tight,
narrow.
right?
Yeah, different things like that. And so I can remember being in San Vito area, and the BMAs opened up. I was thrilled with that.
Now the BMAs is a grocery store, and I wouldn't say a high-end grocery store, but it's much better than the majority of the, and it's Tico owned, but it's a lot better than the majority of the Tico owned stores, because these were people that went to the United States, they saw the excellence, and they said, hey, we ought to do that. And it would just blow up, and that's what happened. So the BMA started in San Vito.
Some of the owners were Panamanian, and so whatever reasons they had money, I guess they had pooled together. It wasn't just one; it was a group of people. So anyway, that was thrilling because it was cool. I'm talking about it had air circulating, and it was well lit, and the bathroom was wonderful. I mean, it was clean. It had toilet paper, it had paper napkins and soap for your hands, and I enjoyed. I was glad.
Yeah.
And then we moved from that area. They got little pallies there. That's like a small Walmart, but it is dimly lit. You know, it's just not as good as Walmart.
So as we're talking about the topping, so in general, what you're saying is that, hey, you were glad because when they had the Walmart, you know, you had plenty of parking. It is hard to find parking.
Yes, I went on a rabbit trail, but yeah, when they built that in San Isidro, which was close to us, underground parking, so we didn't have to worry about the rain. Your cart, you can roll your cart all the way out to your car. You
and it just made it very easy.
Plenty of parking. the setup for when you come out of the store onto the road is nice. Just little things like that.
So, so here, I started out, talking about, because it's kind of like what Randy is saying here. I agree with Randy completely. He says he boycotted Walmart in the United States. Hey, if I didn't have to go shopping at Walmart in the United States, I wouldn't. And that's simply because it does kill a lot of stores. Okay. But is that the case here in Costa Rica? And hey, we were just talking about, shopping and parking. And Shannon, he was at one of my events, and he says he just moved here on Monday. Congratulations, Shannon. So he came down here with his dog and his cat and his 2 suitcases, and he made his first trip to Walmart, and it was definitely an experience. But here's something that he mentioned. He says, because parking is tough anywhere in Costa Rica. He went into San Isidro del General for a cell phone 2 days ago, got down and all of that. And, look, he gave up because parking down there is a nightmare. Absolutely.
And they'll give you a ticket in a flash. It's not expensive.
Now, the ticket is cheap, but, so I'll encourage you, Shannon, take a little bit of time and it will get easier. But my point here is that that's one of the reasons that Walmart was so nice is that, it's difficult. You go to a grocery store, you can't find any place to park, it's challenging. But here's the question. In the United States, Walmart is bad for local businesses. Yes.
I don't think it'll have that same effect in San Isidro because of the walking traffic.
Okay. Now that's what I was about to say. So you're trying to mess up
jumping ahead.
You jumping the gun. So in Costa Rica, in the United States, Walmarts are really bad for local businesses. However, Walmarts in Costa Rica are extremely, extremely, extremely good for the locals. Why is that? Well, in Costa Rica, now we've been here 11 years, so we have experience, boots on the ground. We know it is. How hard is it to find good products or any decent brand in Costa Rica?
It's difficult.
It's very difficult to find anything of quality.
Some of the local brands that, things that are made.
No, I'm talking about if you just wanted to go to any of the Tico stores, it's difficult to find any quality products. Okay. Now, Walmart. Everybody knows in the United States, you're like, well, you go to Walmart, the products are not nearly as good. It's a cheaper, but in Costa Rica, Walmart has better products than the majority of the local stores in Costa Rica. Why is that? So you have to understand. So I want you to write this down because this is going to be a cultural lesson right here. If you understand the culture of Costa Rica, the majority of the Costa Ricans don't have a whole lot of money, and they're really not concerned about the actual brand. They're going to buy the cheapest thing out there. It might last a day, it might last a week, it might last 2 months. And if it does, it does, but they bought the cheapest product out there, okay? Now, when they go to Walmart, they can get something that is a much better product than what they can anywhere else in Costa Rica for the most part, and the price is going to be fair. And, in Costa Rica, it's really important to understand. When you buy something in Costa Rica, the majority of the stores, they will not let you refund it. You can forget it, okay? So there's no such thing as a refund. They might swap it out for you, but even that is it's not the norm, okay? So Walmart,
there is no return.
There's no return policy.
Well, there's no return section. Like when you go into a Walmart in the United States, there's the bathroom and there's the return department. Yeah, and they don't have that. I tried to return something a while back, and they let me exchange it for something, but boy, did I have to wait a long time. They had to get a manager. I had to sign a piece of paper and everything. So it's different.
Walmart is actually very, very good for the locals because the locals can actually go to one place. Now, the question is, but Alan, does Walmart shut down all these local stores? No, it doesn't. And that's what Rebecca was kind of referring to a while ago. You see, there is so much walking traffic all over Costa Rica that, hey, if you're a Tico and you're walking or you're riding the bus, you're going to the closest store around to buy your stuff. And you're just used to walking around. It's pura vida. You're used to walking around and going to this grocery store, this grocery store, this grocery store. You might have to visit, 4 or 5 grocery stores to get the 10 things on your list, okay? But you actually kind of look forward to that as a Tico because you're going to talk with this person, and how's your mama, and how's your brother, and blah, 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 blah. You know, that's just, it's Costa Rica. It's a community. Yeah.
And like in San Isidro, I noticed that the walking traffic, it seems like people take taxis and buses to the center of town and then do, like you're saying, just walk around. They're visiting, you know, it's a day, it's an outing, it's an adventure. And we try to stay away from that because the cars or the streets are so narrow, and there are cars parked on both sides of the street and people passing in between cars, and it's just not good driving experience. I find it's very nerve-wracking. Lanes merge. Anyway, I try to stay away from downtown. In fact, I want to mention that to Shannon. If you can find like a I don't know what kind of phone you're going for, but try to find a store that is not downtown.
Yeah, you know,
then you'll have better parking, less traffic, and less customers.
Yeah. Well, anybody that's living in San Isidro, you know, because even I don't like to go downtown. And when I go downtown, I have to either find paid parking, park there, and then just walk everywhere. And that way I can get the stuff. But I hate doing that. So what we do is we just stay on the main drag of San Isidro. And if we stay on the main drag of San Isidro, you really can find just about anything you're looking for. Okay. And so, you know, once you get to finding stuff, you can find out that, hey, look, there's an EC where you can get a phone that's on the main drag, or you can, you know, you can find stuff instead of having to go inside town. Yeah. Now,
another reason I liked Walmart when Walmart came is because brands that I recognized.
Yeah, not only brands that you recognize, but they actually had some, you know, a lot of brands that you recognize, and they had stuff that you got used to. You know, one of the big things is that, especially you and, well, a lot of people coming to Costa Rica, you get this culture shock. It's so different. But I remember the first time we went into a Walmart or a store you recognized, and I'm trying to remember if we were in San Jose, but regardless, we went into Walmart. And it was almost like you could see all the weight and all the stress come off of Rebecca, because it was like, you know, you could find stuff. And that's what's really important, because, you know, when you go into Walmart, you know that the jelly is going to be next to the peanut butter. You know that the toilet paper is going to be next to the paper towels. You know, when you in Costa Rica, you go into a locally owned grocery store. I mean, you know, toilet paper might be on one side of the store and paper towels on the other. It's not what you're used to in the United States, where there's some sense of organization. Now, hey, I encourage you to shop locally when you can for things that don't matter, like you're trying to get rice and, you know, things that don't matter. Shop locally. Help out the locals. That's a good thing, okay? In most cases, if you go to a regular, and I really enjoy shopping at the BMAs. You go to the BMAs, it's like Rebecca said, you know, it's got good lighting, wide aisles, you know.
It's clean. It smells good.
Very clean, you know.
It's more expensive, though. You pay for that.
You're paying for having a great experience. You know, because we've often lived in remote, small towns. And when you go to these remote, small towns, you know, some of these grocery stores,
some of them are in people's houses.
Yeah, they're on the front of their houses. Yeah, and these are usually like little convenience stores. But even some of the grocery stores, you know, it's very dim lit. You can't see anything. It's hard to, I mean, you're looking, you practically got to use a flashlight to find stuff. It's difficult inside a Tico-owned store in most cases in some of these smaller towns. And we've lived in a lot of smaller towns, okay? So, you know, having a Walmart just kind of makes you feel, it kind of is like, oh, wow, okay, you feel good. It's a breath of fresh air, you know, and you can find stuff.
Places like Jaco and
yeah, if you go to touristy areas,
Liberia, they have some,
you know, bigger stores and nicer stores.
EPA and I forget the name of that good grocery store that they have in Jaco. But anyway, we're mostly talking about not tourist areas.
Yeah, we're always, I mean, on this channel, we're always talking, because, you know, I don't know how many people, look, there are a lot of expats that live in tourist areas and expats that live in the city. But, you know, we share our perspective for people that we think are going to live outside the city, outside the metropolitan area, you know, away from tourist areas.
The southern zone, and the southern zone, I mean, Walmart has just within the last 2 or 3 years gotten to San Ysidro.
Well, yeah, I mean, used to the only Walmarts were in the city,
right.
And so, matter of fact, I think the Walmart in San Ysidro in Paris, Celedon is the only Walmart that I know outside of the city. Now and I think there's one over, in the Liberia area, but that's still a bigger city. Now, Makala has a good question. Makala says, can I find qualitative or special products in Walmart? Like, for example, organic cotton clothes and mattress. Is that available in Walmart and in Costa Rica at all? Well, I can't answer that question. I can say you probably are not going to find those special products in Walmart. But if you understand how Walmart works, okay, Walmart will buy the stuff that the majority of the people. So in Costa Rica, even though I have no problem finding my size clothes or shoes in the United States, because the majority of people are about my size, in the Walmart in Costa Rica, I have a hard time finding anything over a size 10 for men, because it's just not that many ticos that have feet bigger than a size 10. So Walmart is always really big on doing their research, and they buy products according to the demographic. So in Costa Rica, you have a hard time finding any ticos that's buying organic cotton clothes or mattresses like that. So now
I have to go to EPA for the mattress.
For you to find that kind of stuff, can you find it in Costa Rica? Probably in San Jose. In San Jose, you can almost find anything you're looking for. Okay. So matter of fact, we was in San Jose just a couple of days ago, and in San Jose, wow, what you could find was amazing. And we spent time walking all through EPA. EPA is a huge, it's the closest thing to Home Depot, okay? And we went into Price Smart, which is probably the closest thing to Sam's, and it's a membership store, and they have quality stuff. So,
and we have Pequeño Mundo now.
Yeah, and you got Pequeño Mundo, but Pequeño Mundo is, I don't know if I could say that's equal to anything in the United States.
Yeah. It's almost like a higher quality than Walmart, but not.
No, I wouldn't say it's higher quality. I would say Pequeño Mundo has a ton of variety, a ton of selection, but you
can get frozen vegetables.
Yeah, you won't, but you're not going to always. Some things are quality, but a lot of things are just not quality. When you go to Pequeño Mundo, it's kind of like I look at it because I see a lot of new items, and it's almost as if people that come out with new items, it goes to Pequeño Mundo so people can try it out, and it's cheap. And I see they'll have new wines and new liquors, and it's usually cheap. And if it's all good, well, then it goes into other stores, and goes up.
It's kind of a cross between a Walmart and a Sam's. It's a blend of that. You can find frozen vegetables and specialty fruits and stuff that you can't find at Walmart, and you can find at Sam's, but then you don't quite have the selection and the quality of a Sam's or a Price Smart, like it's called here.
Yeah. And say it's like William is saying, he wears a 34 length in pants. Yeah, he's a tall guy. You're going to have a hard time finding those kind of things, if you're just an average generic Joe. So, I mean, if you're skinny and tall, it's hard to find those kind of things. If you're a large guy, it's hard to find those size things. So, hey, and that's the mistake we made. Makala says, hey, great, I'll start my journey in the San Jose. Absolutely. And that's the mistake. One of the mistakes we made coming here. We came here. I didn't want to go to the city. I hate the city. But if we would have spent a few days in San Jose, we could have bought a lot of the stuff that we spent forever looking for, because we wasted so much time looking, because we didn't know. We thought, well, come on, Costa Rica, surely we can find duct tape. Well,
we didn't know that San Jose was like the area for shopping, and then everything down south where we wanted to go to the southern region because it was less developed, because we were looking for the nature and the real Costa Rican experience, not city dwelling and stuff like that. Well, we were surprised.
Yeah. And, it's San Ysidro is, one of our favorite areas, and San Ysidro del General is it's the second fastest and largest city outside of the metropolitan area of San Jose. Now, even though it's the second largest and fastest, to kind of give you an idea about the locals, about the ticos, about the culture, a lot of them don't go anywhere. It was fun the first couple of weeks when Costa Rica opened up, just to stand there and watch people approach the escalator. Because, I mean, you got the escalator, and that escalator is constantly moving. And I'm talking about these grown adults that was kind of scared to get on the escalator. It's like, how do you get on the escalator? So that kind of goes to show you, hey, Costa Rica, it's not nearly as developed as the United States. And Ticos, look, a lot of locals, they just don't travel.
Yeah. I guess the only place they really maybe would have come across that is if they went shopping in San Jose in the malls or the airport. And so apparently a lot of people haven't even left the country ever.
Well, a lot of people can't leave the country.
Yeah, that's right. It's not like it is in the US.
It's difficult to leave.
And you can pretty much go where you want.
So, when Walmart came to Costa Rica, it was just amazing. And it was such a great, and it's still a great thing for the locals. Okay. And so now a lot of people who are like, well, I'm going to just boycott Walmart. Well, you're going to have a hard time boycotting Walmart in Costa Rica, because Walmart, not only do they own Walmart, but they own the Más o Menos, which is a really nice grocery store. They own the Palais. They own the Super Palais. And I think they have one more. But anyway, Walmart owns quite a few chains in Costa Rica. Okay. And it's really good for the locals. So, I mean, you can, what I like to say, cut your nose off to spite your face and say, I'm not going to go into Walmart. But you're only going to make it more difficult for yourself in Costa Rica. There's nothing wrong with not shopping at Walmart. I'm not here to judge. I hate going to Walmart. But in Costa Rica, it's a blessing for us, because it makes life a lot easier. Costa Rica is a huge, huge challenge. And that's the reason we share our perspective. There's a lot of challenges, but once you learn what you can do, Costa Rica, I like to say, once you're able to control your environment, wow, Costa Rica can become such an amazing, wonderful, awesome place. Okay. And, but hey, I'm not trying to say Costa Rica. If you're interested in coming to Costa Rica, we're glad you found our channel, because we're giving you the truth, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Part of the ugly is that it's difficult to find parking anywhere in Costa Rica.
Covered parking for sure. But let me share a quick story about parking. Okay. A couple of weeks ago, I had to go to San Jose. I went to a clinic. Anyway, there was no parking. There was no parking at the clinic. And it was in the city, and there was just traffic everywhere. Okay. Well, right next to the clinic was like 3 or 4 stores in this little strip. And in the front, it said parking only for customers. Well, there was nobody there. I mean, nobody. It was dead. There was one car there. So I parked there. And I had my Tico buddy with me. He says, oh, let's just park here. Be okay. And so I parked there. Okay. We went inside the clinic. We were there for a couple of hours. Okay. Now, you have to understand, in a little strip place like that, and I mean, there's nobody there. There's no traffic. There's no customers. And there was plenty of parking. There was no reason why I couldn't park there, with the exception the sign said for customers only. I wasn't a customer there. I was a customer of the clinic. They had no parking. Now, there was paid parking across the street, and then I had just passed it, but it was a one-way street, so I decided to park there. Made a mistake. Don't do that again. If it says don't park there, don't park there. Probably enough that happened, but here's what happened to us. And don't listen to your Tico friend.
Don't listen to your Tico friend saying it's going to be okay, because we pulled out of the parking, and as soon as we went down the street, we heard tick, 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 and my buddy's like, dude, what's that? What's that ticking? I says, sounds like these mud grips probably picked up a rock. Well, I should have pulled over and looked. Well, we only went a couple of miles down the street. And as soon as we got on the main highway, tick, 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 ping. Well, what happened was, whoever store I was parked in front of, they decided they were going to put something underneath my tire. And in other words, they put a nail or something underneath my tire to give me a flat, because a gringo shouldn't be parking in my spot. He wasn't my customer. So Ticos are passive aggressive. They might not say anything to you. And I would have much rather him come out and say, hey, gringo, can't you see that sign? It says only for customers, and you didn't park here. I would rather apologize anything. But Ticos are passive aggressive. They're non-confrontational. They're not going to say anything to you. And he didn't say nothing to me. I got on the highway, and me and my buddy were changing the tire, and he had stuck something in there. I wish I'd have stopped and looked to see what it was. But, you know, I heard it when it slung out, and he gave me a flat for parking in his spot. So if it says no parking, because it's, you know, hey, I mean, it would have been better for me to have parked there, gone in the store, bought something, then gone over there, asked permission to park. Okay. I'd have been better to ask permission, but, you know, after 11 years, I should have known better. That was my fault. So anyway, you do have to be careful. But anyway.
We were talking earlier today, remember how different things may have been for us if we would have realized that Pequeño Mundo was the kind of store that it is. We thought it was, I mean, it's the same colors as a Toys R Us.
That's right.
And if you're younger than us, you may not know what the Toys R Us, but that was a children's toys, and it had clothes and baby beds and that kind of crib stuff like that. And so it being called Pequeño Mundo,
which means
little world or tiny world, whatever, you know, we thought it was a kids.
I thought it was a toy store for kids.
Right. And it had the same coloring and everything. So we never even bothered going into one. Had we known, because we spent so much time and money on plastic things, like things, just conveniences, or
you know, if you want to find containers, you know, little drawers, boxes to store stuff, because everything gets moldy. So you got to pretty much have everything in a container. We spent a lot of money, if we would have known, because Pequeño Mundo has so many organizational things. They have clothes, you know, just a lot. And that's why we take time to share our perspective. Had we known that Pequeño Mundo had all of this stuff, well, then we could have saved a lot of time. And so we share that with you. If you see a Pequeño Mundo and you're like us, you're like, oh, Pequeño Mundo, that must be a kid's store. No, go in there. Now, like I said earlier, some things are not quality brands, but some things just don't matter. I mean, you know, some things, if you're looking for, you know, like I bought a bunch of little white drawers, and they're great organizer drawers, you know, and so some things just don't matter, but some things do matter. We bought tuna fish. They had some canned tuna fish in there, and oh man, that tuna fish nearly made me sick. I mean, I don't know if it was a new brand or if they were selling stuff that was terrible tuna. The cat loved it. Even Nikki didn't like that tuna, but you know,
it was like tuna meal. But see, that's one of the things, we don't know the brands here. So it was, you know, it was on a special, and so we bought it. Well, we learned that brand, don't buy that again.
But you know, it's you know, hey, you know, I highly advise, go check out some of the local mom and pops. You know, I mean, it's like Shannon says here, he's up in the Rivas area, and that's a really nice area. It's about 20 minutes above San Isidro, and he says there's lots of mom and pop stores, and there's lots of mom and pop stores all over Costa Rica, and they're great if you just need to pick up simple stuff. Yeah, you just need a loaf of bread, you're out of this, or you need some eggs. It's great. You can go by there and pick it up. But you should go check them out. It's neat to go check out some of that stuff. But you know, it's a challenge sometimes to go to some of these places, because some of these places don't take credit card. It's only cash. And that's okay. So you just have to learn to you got to learn to adapt to your environment.
Yeah. And we do run into little stores.
Oh, yeah.
When we need a little something. But if you're going to do big grocery shopping, and we have to do that because we're up the mountain 2 hours. So we don't just buy a little bit when we go.
Yeah.
Because we don't, I mean, that's why we have a big freezer. And, you know, because we don't want to be going to the grocery store even once a week. It's too much. It's a hard trip down the mountain, down and up.
And you know, Eduardo is really big on shopping locally, and that's great. There's nothing wrong with shopping locally. Now, here's the thing that I have found out, because hey, call me a penny pincher. I don't have a whole lot of money to spend, so I'm very careful on how I spend my money. But he says he went to a hardware store and he got what he needed. He spent about 800,000 colones. To give you an idea how much money that is, that's about $1,600. He's working on an extension for his wife in the kitchen. So instead of going to EPA, he just got it at a friend's store. Nothing wrong with that. But if he had gone to EPA, he probably could have saved him $200 or $300. EPA, because it's a huge store like any hardware store, or like Home Depot, well, you can buy things because it's a huge store. You can find better quality, better selection,
high quality.
But you're
going to pay for the higher quality.
You will pay for higher quality, but you can save money. But I buy stuff from the local ferreterias or hardware store all the time because EPA is a good 3 hours, 3.5, 4 hours away for me to go to. So it's like we went there and was looking for toilets because Rebecca wants a specific kind of toilet, and a toilet. I mean, come on. It's something you're going to use every day, several times a day. You want to make sure you don't want just a generic toilet. Now, for a guy, a generic toilet's fine. Well, he don't even need a toilet. He'll go pee by a tree or in a bucket. But a woman wants a comfortable toilet. So it makes differences, right? So, it's, and you'll find that you won't find everything. Kind of like, let's go back to that Walmart. Is it a super Walmart? I mean, the one that we have here is a super Walmart, but how's it different from the super Walmarts in the United States?
Oh, it doesn't have that kind of stuff. It doesn't even have a hardware section, really. It does, but it's very, very small. What would you say, like 3 aisles?
If 3 aisles, yeah. 1.5.
Okay, and like the arts and crafts, it's 1 aisle. The school supplies, it's 1 aisle. So it's different from a super Walmart in the US. Yeah. And like I want a soft close lid. I'm tired of hearing that.
That's so the Walmarts in Costa Rica are very different. Where in the United States you can go to Walmart and buy almost anything. Now, here's what is interesting. When you shop at Walmart, let's say for example in Costa Rica, while they will have some larger appliances and stuff, a lot of times they will not have what you're looking for until Christmas. Why is that?
I know.
That's another cultural side note. Why is it that and if you're going to go shopping for big appliances, why is it you can find them at Walmart at Christmas?
Because of the bonus check, the Christmas check. I forgot what it's called. It's the extra check.
Yeah, I call it the 13th month.
It happens.
Okay, we were buffering for a second. Anyway, in Costa Rica, every employer is required by law to give what in the United States we'd call it a Christmas bonus. In Costa Rica, it's not a Christmas bonus. It's a 13th month check. It's their vacation check. So every place in Costa Rica, they have a 13th month check and the 13th month check is whatever their salary is. If their salary is $500 a month, well, their 13th month check is $500. And so they use that for their Christmas bonus. So every year, everybody has more money in December. And so they're going to the Walmarts and everywhere, and they're buying those big purchases. They're buying the big freezers, or they're buying the refrigerators, they're buying the stove. TVs, right, big TVs.
Sets. You see the aisles are full. They're jam-packed with all kinds of big ticket items.
That's right. So you can go to Walmart and you can find things. And so if you see it, then you have to make sure you buy it. Because, that's one of the things that in Costa Rica, we're looking all over the place trying to find something. And if you see it, you're like, I'm going to go check this store, go check that store. I'll come back next week.
Might be gone.
And you might not see it again.
Right. You might not see something like it again till next Christmas.
Now, we were talking about, hardware stores, and Randy asked a question. Well, hey, can you buy plywood or 1x3s? And he says, no, I meant 1x2s. Well, in Costa Rica, buying lumber is a little bit challenging in some places. You can buy lumber. you can't buy treated lumber at all of the hardware stores like you can in most. Okay, there's like in San Isidro del General, there's one place, maybe two, but there's one huge place where you go buy treated lumber. And so the treated lumber is not like at all of the hardware stores. If you want treated lumber, you go to that place to get treated lumber. You can buy plywood, and I don't think I've ever seen any 1x2s. I've seen some 1x4s, but I mean some 2x4s, but 1x2s I don't think I've ever seen, which means you'd have to rip your own. But you know, there are, you know, anyway, it is
bad luck with plywood though.
Yeah, well, we have bad luck with plywood because we live in an area where it's very, very moisture, and so you'll have mold and stuff. But you know, people build with plywood or build with wood. So anyway, you can find wood. You'll have to look around, and it's a challenge. But you know, like our countertop for our kitchen, I had to look all over the place, and all I could find was a 1-inch countertop. And I mean, I looked forever. I just got lucky and found a piece wide enough. It's hard to find large pieces of wood because most Ticos aren't going to have that kind of thing. So it's kind of like I was saying about Walmart. You know, in Costa Rica, if Ticos don't buy it, it's hard to find. So where I'm used to in the United States going and finding a huge slab of wood for a countertop, Costa Rica, they don't use wood for the countertop. What do they use? Cement.
Tile.
They use cement for everything and then tile it. Okay. So you have to make sure that, you know, it's different. So it's a challenge sometimes to find stuff. Okay.
Look, Eduardo is saying at EPA it was a lot more. And I kind of thought that maybe.
He said EPA was, it cost him more, $78,000 more. And to send it, for them to deliver would have been $120,000. And his friend had good things and had everything for him. He's known him for years, paid him $600,000 and the rest next month when his check comes in. So, hey, you know, and that's kind of a good thing, you know, because what Eduardo was saying, and which is not uncommon. Once they get to know you, you actually get favor and you can actually get better prices. Remember, we were living in San Vito.
Yeah, and they'll order for you if once they get to know you and they don't have something, you tell them what you need, they can get it for you a lot of the time.
Yeah, yeah. So, and so, you know, you can obviously, when we were living in San Vito, sometimes we would get the gringo price, but once they found out we were living there, we would get the normal price.
Right.
You
once
know,
they found out we weren't just passing through, that we were living there. Yeah.
So now Michaela says she has a water distiller, and should she bring it with her or should she leave it? You should bring it with you. I think you could probably find a water distiller in San Jose. However, it depends on your reasons for distilling your water. Okay. Costa Rica water is extremely, extremely clean. And if you're distilling it just to drink or something, and so, you know, you don't need water filters in Costa Rica. Most places, some places, yes. Okay. I actually installed a water filter underneath my kitchen simply because, you know, we get water that comes out of an artesian spring, extremely, extremely clean. But, you know, the only thing that's in our stream is that we have land crabs and they're cleaning everything up. But I don't know about the crab poop. But anyway,
you know, if you have to,
it's really just to get rid of any pieces of dirt and stuff that might come through the hose, you know.
Yeah, I know people will use distilled water for their irons, for their making baby formula, for contact lens, to rinse contact lens and stuff like that. So yeah.
Now Prince says that Walmart is a sign of improvement in Costa Rica's culture, and that's a good thing. And I absolutely agree. Walmart has really, really helped a lot of the culture in Costa Rica, and it's amazing. So Walmart is definitely a sign of improvement, and hopefully, of course, you have to understand Walmart. They spend millions of dollars building a place, and it's better for everybody, but they can't go everywhere. And I kind of doubt Walmart will go south of San Isidro. I kind of doubt it.
You think? I could see possibly.
I could see them possibly.
San Vito.
Yeah, maybe. I could see possibly going to San Vito.
And then
but I don't know if San. Yeah, no, I doubt they would. Yeah, I bet you.
There's a Walmart over. What is it? Claro by Ciudad Neli.
There's not a Walmart. There's a Pilot, but ain't no Walmart down there. Okay. See, so now here is, and Randy says, hey, that distilled water is good for cooking. So yeah, so if you have a distiller, I would highly suggest you bringing it with you. I've never looked for one, and I'm willing to bet you can find a distiller, in San Jose. Now here's a I want to address this. Eduardo says he paid $0 for delivery to his friend. Okay, and they delivered anyway someplace there. And he just tipped the driver and the helper. And so anyway, I know that the guy that owns this property, he actually had a piece of property that was over in Estorrillos, okay? And he was buying all of his stuff from a ferreteria that was less than a mile, 2 miles away. Normally, that ferreteria would have delivered all of that stuff for free, okay? Because he's buying all that stuff. And he spent, the house he built was over a $200,000 house. But he actually had a Canadian friend who claimed to be a friend helping him. And he made all the arrangements and everything delivered. And he actually was charged $100 for every single delivery on less than a mile away. Okay, so here's what was happening. You got to be careful who you deal with, because you got people, especially expats, who come down here who know you don't know any better, pretending to be your friend, who will take advantage of you. And there are definitely hardware stores that's going to take advantage of you, who would normally deliver for free, but yet would charge you because you're an expat that don't know any better. So, I always say that when you're getting ready to make a big purchase or making any kind of dealings, you either got to have you a good tico you can trust, okay, to do those dealings for you, or you're going to end up getting the gringo price. Or, once people get to know you, like Eduardo, he's been going back and forth so much, people's gotten to know him. He's a very friendly guy. And so once you get to know people, just like they got to know us, you will get the normal price, and it will save you money. So you've got to just understand, you got to pay your due diligence. You got to pay your time, okay? So, things do change. Now, a question here from Rico says, where is the Walmart located? Now, you can actually go on Google, and there's only one Walmart in San Ysidro, and it's right on the main strip. There's quite a number of Walmarts in San Jose, in the metropolitan area. So, hey, it's really easy. As a matter of fact, when you come to Costa Rica, you should most definitely install the app Waze. That's WAZE. And if you put in Waze, you type in Walmart, it'll show you right the location. You can go right there. And if for some reason there's a pile up or a landslide or something, a wreck or police, Waze will tell you, and it will reroute you, if there's a blockage in the road, so that you can get the quickest and fastest route to Walmart. So, hey, Waze is, I couldn't live in Costa Rica without Waze. Waze is a lifesaver. Randy says he loves Waze, and Waze is the best directional map, in my opinion, and that's because it's user generated. So users are on there saying, oh, just past the police, oh, pothole. And so Waze will say, careful, parked car on the side of the road, careful, police ahead, pothole ahead, and it's asking, is it still there? Waze is a phenomenal app, okay?
My only advice with Waze is, in the city, just stick to the main road, because it will try to reroute you through neighborhoods and roads that are too narrow for two cars to pass on, and potholes that your car could disappear in. Because
Waze don't know.
Right. And speed bumps every 20 feet, it seems like. So sometimes it's, just stick to the main road. Even if there's heavy traffic, your car is going to thank you.
Our car was definitely moaning and groaning over
the little roads that it sends you on to get around.
Yeah. Rico says she was there in March and didn't hear about Walmart. Thank you, and good to know for future trips. So, hey, what area of Costa Rica were you in, Rico? I'd like to know. where you're in the San Ysidro del General area.
Yeah. You just do a Google search or ways, and it's just like
Walmart
it has a website that has list all the locations.
Walmart is a huge blessing. I mean, you can go to Google and put Walmart in Costa Rica, and it will show you all the Walmarts.
It'll tell you the times and.
Oh yeah, so it's really just a huge blessing. You can really save, okay?
Because they're not 24-hour. I mean, they might have some that are 24-hour, but like the one in San Ysidro is not 24 hours.
No, there's to be a 24-hour store in Costa Rica, it takes a special permit, and so there's not many things that are 24 hours. So I'm glad you brought that up. The things that are 24 hours mostly are gas stations.
Yeah, and we just started seeing that over the last few years.
Yeah.
When we first got here, we were leaving out of San Jose in the middle of the night because of what time our plane had arrived, and there were no gas stations open. It was not 24-hour.
It wasn't 24 hours. Yeah, and now, Rico was saying I was in Uvita for a weekday trip to San Ysidro. So she had gone to San Ysidro. Yeah, and if you'd have just stayed on the main drag, and it is kind of on the southern part of San Ysidro. So if you go to the southern part of San Ysidro, then you'll get to the Walmart there.
Yeah, it's past the mall.
Yeah, it's on the it ain't past the mall. It's on the mall? Okay. Anyway, so and now they say mall. Don't get confused. It's not a mall like you're used to in the United States, but it's what Costa Rica, what Perez Zeledon or the locals call the mall in San Ysidro. There's no real mall, but it is kind of a tiny mall.
It's a tiny mall because you do go in an entrance and all the doors to the stores are inside.
Now, look at that. Orleans wants to know, wow, no tea for Rebecca today? She don't have her tea today.
I'll tell you why. I did not have time to heat up water because we went for a walk before doing the live and we got back just in time. Like I barely had time to put my Band-Aid on. And so I didn't have time to heat up water on the stove. And because we are still having such cloudy days, our batteries aren't getting really good charge. And so I try not to use the microwave if I don't have to. So yeah, thanks for noticing that. I just have my water.
So absolutely. Yeah. Matter of fact, I went to San Jose a couple of weeks ago with my buddy, my best friend. He's at Tico in Costa Rica, my best friend. We went to San Jose together. And of course, we stopped and had lunch and had supper and stuff. And of course, every meal, I just get me a good cold Allen's apple juice. I just refuse to buy bottled water whenever Costa Rica has all this pure, clean water. And I don't drink sodas. I'm kind of a health nut. And in my opinion, a good cold apple juice is cleaner and way healthier than anything else there. So, hey, I just like my good Allen's apple juice.
I order tap water. I never get the bottled water. There's only been 2 times that the restaurant had horrible water, and I don't know what the reason was, but most of the time I just get tap. And we go to a lot of restaurants. We went to Chili's.
Woo! We're gonna have to talk about it. No, don't give it away. Don't give it away. Don't give it away. We're gonna talk about dining in Costa Rica and what are the costs.
We compared.
Yep. Well, we'll have to talk about it. Things are just a little bit different. Hey, William.
I have to say the decorations in the mall. We went to the malls, the multi plaza. I can't.
Yeah, we went to the small multi plaza. I can't remember what town it was in, but we went to the small multi plaza.
But the decorations, the Christmas decorations were really.
We'll have to talk. We'll talk. Christmas decorations, Costa Rica is different. But William was saying his cousin came and said that Pepsi is Coke and Coke is Pepsi. Costa Rica, I think it's all the same. And I quit drinking sodas a long time ago, Hey, now Eduardo says only ice the cold imperial juice. Imperial is a very popular, one of the most popular brands in Costa Rica. So they have Imperial and they have Pilsen. Now, I really do like Imperial Silver. Okay, it kind of similar to a Corona, but Pilsen, very popular. So the two are kind of neck and neck. I don't know which one is better, but Pilsen came out with a new beer. Apple juice. And this Pilsen is black. Okay. The label's black and it's 6%. In other words, it just says it's 6% alcohol. It ain't much. I think the rest are 5. Who cares? But it's not very popular. But it's got a good, bold flavor. I like the Imperial. Now, the locals, I think, call it Imperial 6 or Imperial 6. Okay. And Pilsen 6. Okay. Which is 6 is the number 6. I just always called it Pilsen Negro because of the label's black, and I didn't know. But anyway, now I do know. The locals call it Pilsen 6 or 6 Pilsen, whatever one. But anyhow,
because of the percent.
Because of the percent of alcohol,
well, which is
yeah. So anyway, it's a little different. But anyway, so anyhow, if you haven't tried that, give that a try and let me know if you like a good bold. I like that. I like you say anyway. I'm gonna have to start getting some of that. I like that better. Anyway,
the differences of I'm gonna say this part of a like mom and pop, and it's not all, but went to a mom and pop restaurant, ordered a Pilsen, and they brought you a hot Pilsen but an ice mug. So that completely canceled each other out. But at Chili's, who they probably have, their code,
they know how to do
process, their procedures and everything. They brought you a cold mug and a cold Pilsen.
That's right. So, Costa Rica is just very, it's kind of like wine. They will have, if you have a good red wine, it's not supposed to be refrigerated. Costa Rica, you go to a lot of places, the wine is refrigerated because it lasts longer, anyway. And a cold red wine is, it depends. Fruit wines are supposed to be refrigerated. But so things are different and you'll begin to learn, Now, hey, this is interesting because, hey, I'm not a beer connoisseur. Big Dave said 6% is pretty high for beer compared to the States. I didn't know that. Okay.
That's why they designated the 6.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. So, hey, I'm glad you shared that. Now, see, William says every time he comes back from the States, he brings Piggly Wiggly tea, grits and gravy mix. And make sure you bring cornbread mix if you like cornbread. So, yeah, when you go to the States, there's just some stuff you got to bring back with you, your favorite things,
Speaking of that,
you're not going to find grits anywhere in Costa Rica.
Grits, not cornbread mix. They make all that homemade, I guess. We don't know how to do it, but anyway. But William, you mentioned Piggly Wiggly, and the little hometown that we were from in Louisiana had a Piggly Wiggly, and it was the grocery store when we were younger. That's where
people went. Yeah.
And then when the Walmart came, it closed down that little Piggly Wiggly. So
now, it's, as we were talking about Walmart, when you go into Walmart, and this is important to know, and what brings me to remember this is what Eduardo said here. If you go to Walmart, you can buy vitamins and some supplements and things like that. Not a whole lot, not a huge selection. Most people are used to going to GNC in the United States. And GNC in the United States, man, you can really get a lot of stuff. But GNC in Costa Rica, well, all that stuff's imported. So you're going to pay a lot. And Eduardo's like, don't go to GNC in Costa Rica. It's overpriced. And they'll rip you off. And it's extremely overpriced in Costa Rica. You will pay a lot of money for almost any supplements in Costa Rica.
Right. Not only because it's imported, but because of the importation laws. Like you can't just order a supplement off of Amazon and have it shipped. There's
it ain't happening.
About health products, and it has to go through a process. So
so
perfume.
So if you go to the United States, you need to bring back your perfume, your makeup, your supplements, right?
Yeah. If you have light colored hair and you color your hair, it's hard to find light colored dye. I gave up on that. I stopped.
I won't admit, Rebecca used to color her hair all the time, and it was really hard to find anyone to color her hair. She actually conned me into coloring her hair for her. And I had to give up on that because she doesn't tip good. She don't tip good at all. And that was a lot of work.
He got to where he refused.
I was like, no, I ain't doing this no more.
But it damaged my hair because he liked red. So I was coloring my hair red or strawberry blonde. And when you met me, I was blonde, but
Okay, so I got a redhead fetish. I don't know.
So, but it was hard to find that color, and yeah, and hard to keep. Red fades really fast.
So anyway, what she's saying, if you got blonde hair and you go to a salon, it's very different. They're not used to coloring blonde hair. There's just a lot of different things. So anyway, we are almost time. And so if you got a question that you've been wanting answered, and you got an answer that you got a question, you need an answer, put it in now before we hang up.
Look what William
look,
says.
hey,
we do the same thing.
He says, my sister-in-law wants Tylenol and ibuprofen in big bottles. Dude, you will you pay an arm and a leg. That's why that's why I'm missing an arm. I mean, I end up taking a lot of ibuprofen sometimes. My feet hurt and stuff. And we can go to the United States and we can buy a bottle of ibuprofen, generic ibuprofen, 100 pills, $1. I don't know how they put it in a bottle for $1. We saw the same thing. I can't remember we were in Price Smart. What was it? $14?
I can't remember, but I remember just saying, wow.
It was extremely expensive. I think it was 7,000 colones for a bottle of ibuprofen, 100. I think it was like $14.
Brand.
Yeah, no.
We're not talking about
no. This one was Advil. That I was.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. So I mean,
I remember telling you it's because it was.
Yeah, I mean,
you can't buy the brand name.
Yeah, even
that cheap
even
in the United States,
but it ain't gonna be no $14 though.
No,
So there's things that you just have to put in your suitcase when you come to Costa Rica, because Costa Rica, they'll sell you one pill at a time. Tico has a headache. He goes in and says, "Give me 2 pills." So
little medications like that are always on our list for when we go back.
Now, William asked a good question. He says, can we get our car inspected with a USA license? And I think you're saying with a USA driver's license. Yes, with a USA driver's license, you just take your car there, because and anybody could take the car there. I don't even think they don't ever even ask for my driver's license. The car is being inspected based on the license plate, not based on the owner or anything. So used to, I had such a hard time getting my car inspected. I had to pay a Tico to get my car inspected because I was a gringo and I would fail every single time. And that was when it was a company called Reteve. Well, it got changed by the president to Decra, and they're way more honest and a much, much better company. So anyway,
for the most part, if you are in the country legally, meaning you're not over your
if you're in the country,
your number of days, they accept. And if your U.S. driver's license is not expired, they accept it as equal to a Costa Rican driver's license.
Yeah, that's good to know. All right. Hey, we're already over an hour. I hope you have found this live not only very informative, but I hope it was entertaining as well. So, folks, I can't wait to see you again next Sunday. Remember, we're changing it from our usual 4:30 to 4 o'clock. And that way it's not getting dark on us. Gives us a little bit more time. So, folks, I hope you enjoyed it. And I can't wait to see you next time. Please remember to comment even after this video. Comment. Help. It's a great way to support us by commenting, liking, and sharing. We'll see you next time on the next Unbridled Living in Costa Rica podcast.
Ciao.